everyone! Kumusta? Happy New Year po! Bagong taon, bagong pag-asa, bagong simula, and of course, new chapter of learning. I hope that each of us has a meaningful, fruitful, and memorable celebration of the past holiday season. Well, speaking about learning, in this video discussion, we will talk about new topic here that we will discover more learnings. Because our topic for today is all about the Jigsaw teaching strategy. So what is Jigsaw teaching strategy? That's the thing that we will discover in this video discussion. So guys, sit back and relax and enjoy learning. So before anything else, let me present to you the learning objectives of this learning session. At the end of the discussion, learners are expected to define Jigsaw teaching strategy, enumerate the steps in Jigsaw teaching strategy, perform a Jigsaw teaching strategy on a certain topic, and appreciate the benefits of Jigsaw teaching towards learning through a reflection paper. Class, always remember that these objectives will be realized if all of us here will fully cooperate and participate up to the end of this video discussion. Alright, so before I will start giving more inputs you here in our discussion, I would like you to guess now what is being presented here. Now take a look on the photo. Just use the clue below. So what is it? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is that? Yes, that is a jigsaw puzzle. So but what makes this jigsaw puzzle related to our lesson today? Ang lahat ng yan ay ating abangan here in our discussion. Are you ready? So now let's talk about jigsaw method. So what is jigsaw method? How we will define this kind of methodology or strategy of teaching. So according from this definition, it is a cooperative learning technique in which students work in small groups. It simply means, Jigsaw method is a group activity where there are group members and every group member are encouraged to actively participate and cooperate in the said activity. But what makes Jigsaw method unique among other group activity? It is in the sense it is an efficient method that also encourages listening, engagement, interaction, peer teaching, and cooperation by giving each member of the group an essential part to play in the academic activity. So out from this definition, we can say that in this method, in Jigsaw method, members are not just members only. Not just members by their name, but they must be an active and participative members in their group. Because every members are important. They are important because they have important task, important part, essential part that they must perform, that they must do within their group for the realization, for the entirety goal of the Jigsaw method. Maybe at this time in this group activity, each of us will say, oh my God, I am so valuable. I am important pala in this world. Because always remember that kung wala ka in your group, you are also ikawalan to your groupmates. You are valuable to your groupmates, and at the same time, your groupmates are also valuable to you. So if we have the common notion in group activity that I'm just a member, so I will just what the leader will do, I will take the rest and just wait for something. But in this Jigsaw method, no. As a member, you must perform the task that you are assigned to effectively and efficiently for the success of this activity. So take a look on this jigsaw puzzle. You have seen pieces there, the red, the blue, the green, the yellow, and many others. And imagine that you are one, no, of that piece. Imagine that in that puzzle, one piece will be lost. Do you think that this puzzle will form on what is supposed to be? Of course, we will answer, will not. Of course, will never. On what is supposed to be, it will never form on what we desired to in that jigsaw puzzle if even one puzzle will lose. Just like also in jigsaw teaching method. Because each piece represents to a student's part. That's why I am showing you before our formal discussion a jigsaw puzzle. This is to relate, no, that every piece in that puzzle corresponds to the responsibility, to the role of every group members in a jigsaw teaching method. And each piece, each student's part, each member are essential for the completion and the full understanding of the final project. So if you're not there as a member, of course, the final product of your jigsaw teaching will not be complete and there will be no full understanding anymore. So each student's part is essential. Then each student is essential because your part there is essential. You must be there because you are also essential by doing your task given to you, which are also essential for the success of the group activity. And that is precisely what makes this strategy so effective. It really requires cooperation and active participation of every member. Again, in jigsaw teaching method, you as a member, you are not just a member by the name, but you are really a member by the name and by the deeds that you must perform within your group. Next, we will talk about the brief history of the jigsaw teaching. So, paano, why or how did this kind of teaching exist in our educational system? What are the things that push to the proponent to invent this kind of teaching methodology? So the jigsaw teaching technique was invented and named in 1971 in Austin, Texas by a graduate professor and psychologist named Elliot Aronson. So always remember, Elliot Aronson, the one who invented and named this jigsaw teaching technique. The jigsaw classroom was first used in 1971 in Austin, Texas. It is invented, it had invented to help diffuse on explosive situation, also to help students get along with one another. So instead of the students will learn just on their own, depending on what the teacher will give to them, or being a teacher are the dispenser of knowledge, Elliot Aronson think, what if I will let my students to get along with one another? I will enhance their collaboration and communication skills so that their learning also will not just limit to their own self, but also they will learn from the others, from the ideas of other classmates or with one another. To invent the jigsaw strategy, Professor Aronson realized that he needed to shift the emphasis of patiently competitive atmosphere to a more cooperative one. So we will always remember that in jigsaw teaching, we are not promoting competition here. Instead, we are really encourage a cooperative environment to every students, in which one student is very essential for the learnings of other. Through that group activity, the cooperation, the collaboration among each other will boost rather than to be competitive and just self-centered individuals. So now let's proceed to the purposes of Jigsaw technique. Or we will answer the question, why we will incorporate Jigsaw technique in teaching. First, this is to develop teamwork and cooperative learning skills within all students. It will develop the teamwork and the cooperative learning skills among students because this is a group activity where all members are not just members by their names, but their full cooperation and active participation are really needed to accomplish this group activity. Therefore, their teamwork and cooperative learning skills will really enhance through this technique. Second, it allows students to be introduced to the material and yet maintain a high level of personal responsibility. Because Jigsaw technique, students will really get into the materials or the topic. They must understand the topic they assigned. And it is their full responsibility to delve in with it because the understanding within their group will really depend on their level of understanding as a member. Therefore, they are held responsible to this technique. Next is to disclose a student's own understanding of the concept as well as to reveal any misunderstanding. So through brainstorming, within the group, learners will disclose their understanding. They can share their understanding, their knowledge about that certain subtopic they are assigned. And at the same time, they will also reveal these misunderstandings, their confusion, so that it will be unlocked and try to really absorb the real essence or the things that they must to understand for the success of the group, for the full understanding of the group where they belong. Next is to help developing a depth of knowledge. So it is one of the purpose of Jigsaw technique because here in this kind of technique, learners are learning actively. They're not just merely receiving the information from the teachers. Instead, their teachers are the facilitator of learning. The teacher is not the dispenser of knowledge. The students here are really discovering the facts, really research, conduct, gathering information. Therefore, they will really develop the depth of knowledge. Their knowledge here is substantial enough for them to really understand personally and to share it to their groupmates. So after understanding the definition, the history, and the purposes of Jigsaw teaching method, as future educators, we must be mindful on how to initiate this kind of teaching strategy for us to apply it correctly within the future classroom setting as we will teach in the near future. So now let's talk about the general methodology of Jigsaw method. Again, it is a cooperative learning strategy that enables each student of a home group to specialize in one aspect of learning unit. Students meet with members from other groups who are assigned to the same aspect, and after mastering the material, they return to the home group and teach the material to their group members. This is just the simple process here in the Jigsaw method. Again, there is a home group. That's the first keyword here in Jigsaw method. The home group, this home group refers to the group originally formed by the teacher during the assigning of groups within the class. So, and every group members here in a particular group will be assigned to specialize or to master one aspect of a learning unit or a particular subtopic. Those students who will master or specialize a particular subtopic will be called expert. So now we have the home group and also have the expert group. In the expert group, students will meet with members from other groups who are assigned to the same aspect. So group 1 here, we have also expert on that subtopic. Group 2, group 3, group 4 have expert, and they will meet together and they will master the material that they assigned. And after mastering those materials, they will return to their home group and teach the material to their group members. They will share the knowledge they acquired during the conversation, during the brainstorming within those expert groups from different home groups or from the different groups where they belong. So the general steps in Jigsaw method, students here are divided into home groups of 3 to 6 students. So 3 to 6 students we can consider that the number of population of group it's just in a medium, no? It's carrera. It's kanang normal population. Individual members of each group then break off to work with the experts from other groups. So again, there will be every member will be given a specific topic for them to master. Then those members who are assigned to that particular topic, they will meet together. To the members of other group, they will meet together, they will understand, they will analyze for them to be called as experts to that particular subtopic they are assigned. Then third, experts research a subcategory of the material being studied. So they're not just only reading, but they're also trying to delve in, to really try to deepen their knowledge on that particular subcategory through conducting researches, reading books, gathering data from different sources, for them also to have more ideas to be brainstormed, to be discussed within the team of the experts group. Then after mastering the particular subtopic, experts return to their home group in the role of instructor for their subcategory. So again, they're now experts, they're already mastered on that particular subcategory. They will return to their home group, and they will be given the time also to discuss his or her understanding on what he learned from the conference or from the meetings, from the brainstorming that they had together with the expert from different groups also. So out from the broad general steps and methodology of Jigsaw teaching method, we will try to simplify it using the 10 easy to remember steps. So if we will become a teacher, we will just follow these simple steps. So step 1, now in Jigsaw's teaching method, we will of course divide the students into 5 or 6 person Jigsaw groups. So we will have the population of 5 to 6. In every group there will be 5 to 6 members. Then step 2, appoint one student from each group as the leader. So in every group that we formed, that we assigned, we will appoint one leader who will lead the group, who will organize the group that we created. Next, step 3, we will divide the day's lesson into 5 to 6 segments. Why? Why we will divide the lesson into 5 to 6 segments? We will divide it because we have 5 to 6 members in every groups. Therefore, we will divide the lessons into 5 to 6 members. For example, in a day, in a class of geography, with the topic land formations, we will divide the topic into 6 or 5 to 6 segments. For example, we will divide it from the subtopic the mountains, the hills, the plateaus, the mountain range, the valley, and others. So those subtopic or those topic of land formation, we will divide it into 5 to 6 to accommodate the 5 to 6 members of every groups. Then assign each student to learn one segment. That's for step 4. For example, our first member here will be assigned for mountains, the second for hills, the third for plateau, the fourth for mountain range, the fifth is for the valleys. Then the step 5, give students time to read over their segment at least twice and become familiar with it. So they will let the students to familiar what segment or what subtopic you are assigned. For you to familiarize, and have somehow a little recapitulation, a little background of the subtopic being assigned to him or her. Then step 6, form temporary spread groups by having one student from each Jigsaw group join together other students assigned to the same segment. For example, the student, the member in group 1 assigned in mountains will group together to those students who are assigned with mountains in group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, and how many groups that we have. Then they will meet together because they are having the same topic or the same segments, and they are now called as expert groups. Just like what also the hills, the students assigned in hills. The hills from group 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on will also group together. They will brainstorm and they called an expert groups. So the step 7, bring the students back into their Jigsaw groups. So after the masterization, after the brainstorming, the gathering of data, the gathering of facts, knowledge, information from the expert groups, as teacher, we will bring back the students into their Jigsaw groups. So go back. Experts will go back to their group, and step 8, ask each student to present her or his segment to the group. So the expert in mountains will discuss, the expert in valleys will discuss, the expert in hills, the expert in mountain range, the expert in plains, in plateau will discuss in their respective group. There will be sharing because they will now be an instructor of information they've learned from their respective expert groups. And step 9, float from group to group, observing the process. So as teachers, we will observe the group 1 here. The experts from different groups or assigned topics are discussing. The group 2, the group 3, group 4, and so on group are doing the discussion, the sharing, the collaboration of data or information that they've learned from their co-experts. And the step 10, the last, at the end of the session, give a quiz on the material. Of course, there will be an assessment to measure if each member really understand on the sharing, in the brainstorming, in the collaboration of ideas of every experts, from every experts that they are being assigned to a particular subtopics. So imagine how important every members of the group. What if the member of group 1 assigned to mountain will not perform well, will go out from the class? What will happen? The group 1 is having a big kawalan to the topic of mountain. It is a big loss for them because they have no expert from that particular topic who will share the information being brainstormed or discussed by the expert groups or from the expert from different groups. So that's how unique this Jigsaw teaching. We will relate it to the Jigsaw puzzle. If one piece will be lost, the success will be deteriorated. No success anymore. The desired outcome that we look forward will not come into realization. Therefore, every member are valuable. I am valuable to my group, and my group mates are valuable for my learnings. That's how crucial this Jigsaw teaching strategy. It is a cooperative learning strategy that every member are not just members by the name, but they are required to perform, to show their full participation and active involvement to the group, as they are considered themselves to be an expert to the assigned subtopic. So to simplify more our discussion about the Jigsaw teaching strategy, we will try to use this illustration. Here we have the home group. Now here we have the color red, color yellow, and color blue members of the home group. Each group from home group goes to an expert group. The red will go to the expert group 1, the yellow will go to the expert group 2, and the blue will go to the expert group 3. This is an implication or implying us that every members of the home group are really given a task, a subtopic that they must master or they must to be expert together with other members from other group to build or to make this so-called expert group. So in the expert group, they will collaborate, they will brainstorm, they will gather for them to really expert and ready to share the knowledge or information that they must to impart to other members of their respective home groups. So after experts research their subtopic, they return to their home group to teach. So yung pula, yung yellow, at yung bughaw ay uuwi sa kanilang home group to teach, to share, to impart the knowledge they get, they understand from their respective expert group. So now let's proceed to the benefits of Jigsaw teaching strategy. First, it is efficient way to learn. It is efficient in the sense that we can really assure that learners will really discover for their own learning. Second, teacher is not the sole provider of knowledge, because in here we are really promoting active learning. Learners will or students will really discover on the given task assigned to them, on the given subtopic assigned to them. In this sense, teacher is not only the sole provider, instead teacher here is the facilitator to facilitate for the proper flow of the activity. Third is students take ownership in the work and achievement, of course, because they're the one who really discover on their own learning. Their learnings, they can credit their own learnings. I learned this one because I really did my best to discover it. Students are held accountable among their peers. As what I've always tell, that you are not kawalan to only yourself, but you are kawalan to your group members. So kung wala ka in your group has a big kawalan to their learnings. So all students here are held accountable among their peers. They're held the responsibility for also the learnings to others. Learning revolves around interaction with peers. Since this is a cooperative learning strategy, everybody must collaborate, must cooperate, and intensify the interaction with peers. And through the interaction, they will learn more insights and knowledge on the given topic that they are assigned. Students are active participants in the learning process, of course, because they are the one who really discover the thing that they need to know, to learn, and to explore. Now, next is to build interpersonal and interactive skills. We're not only just developing the cognitive skills of the learners here in this Jigsaw teaching strategy. We're also discovering or also letting our students to build interpersonal, not to be only self-centered, but also to have the time to connect with others, to brainstorm, to get ideas from others for their effective learning. Next, we have the overview of research findings. So when compared to students in a traditional classroom, students in Jigsaw classrooms showed A. So according from the researchers, they compared what's in the traditional classroom and what's in the Jigsaw classrooms. They compared the two. What's better, no? Anong meron sa traditional classroom na wala sa Jigsaw classroom? Anong meron sa Jigsaw na wala sa traditional classroom? And they find out that in Jigsaw classroom, it will decrease in prejudice and stereotyping. It will decrease in prejudice and stereotyping because everyone here is important. We cannot discriminate, we cannot underestimate the capacity of others. Instead, we will trust the capacity of others for them, because everyone here has an important task, has an essential task to the respective group. I am important in the sense that I can contribute my learnings for your learnings. At the same, you are also important to me because you can contribute for my learnings. Therefore, there will be no prejudice and stereotyping that will happen. Next, it will higher the levels of self-esteem. It is in the sense that learners here will become an instructor also for the learnings of others. After they will go to the expert group, they will return to the home group and they will share knowledge that they learn from the expert group. At that time, they will really have the higher level of self-esteem because they become expert, they have the mastery of that subtopic, and they have the capacity also to share it, to impart it to their co-members. An increase in liking of their group mates both in group and out group members. Of course, because we build here an interactive and interpersonal skills. You will be more on getting along with others in this Jigsaw classroom. Therefore, you will like your group mates and to your out group members. You will like your co-group members or your co-home group members at your co-expert group members. Next is they will perform better on standardized exams. Why? They will perform better in the standardized exam because students here are really delving into the facts. They're the one who really discover. They're not just only receiving the knowledge from their teachers, but they really explore and really have time to instill it in their minds so that they can also contribute or share it to others, and at the same time they really have the full understanding it to themselves. Another research findings also reveal that in Jigsaw classroom, students has a greater liking of school. It is because it is believed that this Jigsaw teaching strategy, it will really ignite the interest of the learners to be active in and participative in the school activity in terms of learning. They're all encouraged to be active, to participate, and they are really more have the time to really engage all these activities. Next, the lowering levels of absenteeism. This is the great impact of these Jigsaw classrooms because, as what I've always uttered here in our discussion, kung wala ka in your group has a big kawalan to their learnings. Therefore, every students are encouraged to have the perfect attendance, especially if teachers has this kind of teaching strategy, this Jigsaw classroom. The perfect attendance of the learners has the impact to the learnings of themselves at the same time to the learnings of others. Lastly, it showed integration in areas other than the classroom according from Aronson 1990. Of course, there will be integration of learnings. The learnings of your classmates will be shared to you and your learnings will be shared to your classmate also. All learnings will be integrated in which will become impactful, especially in the learning performance of every learners. Okay, here's our resources. Any questions? Do you have any questions? Well, if you have no questions, I have the questions that I will let you have a take-home activity or let you to reflect while you are recalling the important points of this video discussion. I would like you to think, what are the disadvantages or the cons, the consequences of this Jigsaw teaching strategy? Ano po mga disadvantages or somewhat the hindrances for the success of this learning activity? I would like you to think, to reflect on that matter. Alright, I hope everyone really understand and has learnings to this video discussion on the topic Jigsaw teaching strategy. As future educator, I am hopeful that each of us here will apply the learnings that we have in this Jigsaw teaching strategy, and we will apply it to the future classroom setting that we will have, knowing also the benefits, the impacts of this strategy to the learnings of our future learners. Again, thank you so much for full cooperation. Happy New Year everyone. God bless us all and mabuhay po tayong lahat.